Part 7. May the telling of this story cleanse the heart like rain upon dry earth. A golden shimmer danced through the forest. The Rakshasa, the demon, had taken his new form, a dazzling creature made of twisted sunlight and deceit. His coat burned like molten topaz, his eyes like two gemstones, sparkling with intelligence. His delicate antlers caught the dawn like javelins. He moved with the practiced grace of innocence, but the trees trembled, sensing some hidden danger. The other forest creatures fled. They knew this brightness was false. But Sita, gathering flowers for her morning worship, saw him and forgot all about the orange blossoms in her hand. Her breath caught, her heart sang. The creature turned his head, gazing at her sideways, a gesture half human, half spell. It leapt and played, pausing to nibble at the grass before springing away again. Sita followed, laughing softly. When she reached out, it slipped just beyond her fingers, always near, always out of reach. At last she caught her breath and called out, "Rama, Lakshmana, come quickly." Rama ran over, smiling at the delight in her eyes. "Catch it for me," she said. Lakshmana's gaze darkened. "Brother, this is no natural creature of the woods. It is a Rakshasa." Rama looked from the deer to his beloved Sita. How could he refuse her joy? "Perhaps you're right," he said. "But my duty is to Sita's heart. If danger lies ahead, I will meet it. Stay here, brother. Guard Sita with your life." He smiled one last time, a farewell, though he didn't know it then, and vanished into the trees. The deer darted before him like sunbeams over river water, always just a fleeting promise. The chase ran through the shadows of the forest, ever deeper. Then the forest echoed with a cry, the sound of Rama's voice, torn as though he was dying. "Sita, Lakshmana, help me." The sound froze Sita's veins. "Lakshmana, he's in danger," she cried. But Lakshmana didn't move. "Do not be deceived, Sita," he said quietly. "No deer or demon can harm my brother. He ordered me to guard you. I cannot leave your side." But fear was burning Sita's reason away like wildfire. "You want him dead. You want me. That's why you won't save him." Lakshmana flinched as though struck. "You're my brother's wife. You're sacred to me. How can you say this?" But her words were cruel with panic. "If you won't save him, I'll know you're a traitor, and I'll go myself. She rushed forward, but he caught her arm, and in that instant blushed deeply, shamed by his use of force. Tears filled his eyes. If you command it, I will go, but Sita, you must stand within this sacred circle. And he began to trace a circle around her, chanting mantras, invoking Lord Agni until she was encased by a ring of invisible fire. No evil can cross this purifying circle. Promise me you will stay within it until I return. And with these words, he ran into the forest. Silence gathered like a storm on the horizon. From behind the trees came a deep voice. Bhikshum Dehi. An aged wanderer appeared, matted hair, ochre robes, staff and begging bowl. Sita, still trembling, stayed within her circle. Ravana, for it was the lord of demons himself, the lord of Rakshasas, beheld Sita, and his soul knew hunger. She stood radiant as the first dawn, her hair dark as the monsoon, skin pure as stars on a moonless night. Ravana forced his voice into gentleness. Daughter, bless a wandering monk with alms so he may eat. She greeted him with gentle courtesy. I am Sita of Mithila, wife of Rama of Ayodhya. My lord has gone into the forest and will soon return. Please, rest a while. Ravana watched her, noting how carefully she stayed within the circle. Daughter, he said softly, grant me a drop of water, I beg you. The road has been long, and thirst burns my throat like fire. Sita's heart rang with sympathy. She stepped forward to fill his bowl and crossed the magic line. The air cracked as the spell broke. Ravana's old man mask slipped away. A handsome human face remained, but behind his eyes she saw 10 demon heads blazing with pride and disdain. I am Ravana, king of Lanka. You will be my queen, Sita, and the world shall kiss your feet if you obey me. You dare to speak my name, yet you do not know me. I am Sita, wife of Rama. Our bond is truth itself. Be gone, demon, or his arrows will find your heart. Ravana's smile twisted. He laughed, loud and terrible. He grabbed a tuft of Sita's hair, dragging her close, his breath thick with desire. But before his mouth could touch hers, a shadow fell across the sky. Jatayu, the divine bird, had returned from his wanderings, wings beating like thunder. Sita cried out. Ravana leapt with Sita into his golden aerial chariot and rose into the sky. But Jatayu followed, a storm of feathers and fury. High above the forest canopy, they clashed, claws raking, wings cutting the clouds to shreds. Blood spurted like meteors across the dawn. Ravana's laughter rolled through the air, but Jatayu's cry answered, fierce, loyal. He struck again and again, tearing at the demon's arms until the golden chariot shuddered and reeled. But Ravana's strength was terrible. With a roar, he seized one of Jatayu's wings and ripped it free. The sky darkened as the bird spiraled down through the clouds, his broken feathers scattering like stars. Sita screamed as he fell. She gathered a handful of jewels from her hair and cast them down toward a distant hill where 5 monkeys watched. Through the rushing wind, she sent a silent prayer that somehow those bright shards would lead her love to her. Ravana, wounded and furious, bound her in a leather thong and sped southward through the heavens. Below, the divine bird crashed through the trees, the earth shaking as he struck the ground. Rama returned to the empty clearing. The first thing that struck him was the stillness, the quiet, the hush of a place where laughter and the trickle of a singing stream were always to be heard. But now, nothing. He called Sita's name. Not even an echo answered. Sita, my love. The trees stared back at him, blank, mute witnesses to something terrible. Lakshmana had returned and ran to his brother. Rama's voice trembled. Why did you leave her? Lakshmana told him everything, her terror, her wild words, her vow to run after him if he didn't go. Then, in the distance, Rama saw a plume of dust, and he ran to it and saw Jatayu lying broken, one wing ripped out, lifeless in the dust. The nectar of youth drained from Rama's face as he tore through the clearing, searching for any sign of Sita. He was ready for any battle, but not this, not the emptiness she'd left behind. He shouted to the wind, Vayu, you move through every world. Have you seen my beloved? But the wind only sighed and passed him by. A force older than memory, the locked fire of his divine origin, rose like a tide within his chest. He felt the forest stir, the rivers hold their breath. For a heartbeat, he knew that if he released his true power, the mountains would crumble and the earth itself would crack. His fear of losing Sita became lightning behind his eyes, and he raised his bow. ready to tear the sky in two. Lakshmana cried out, "Brother, stop! You will burn the world!" But Rama's mind was not his own. It was a cosmic avalanche. And then, through the raging wind, a faint whisper reached him. Jatayu's dying breath. The great bird still lived, his body ruined, yet spirit just holding on. Rama heard the following words. "She has gone into the sky, beyond where the world ends, beyond the farthest mountain where the salt moves and a distant thorn rises from its midst." The words shimmered like flame and faded. Rama and Lakshmana looked at one another. Divine messengers often spoke in such riddles that mortals could not easily grasp. But something stirred in their hearts. A small hope stopped Rama's hand. His terrible energy ebbed, leaving him shaking, human once again. Jatayu's chest rose once more, then fell, and was still. Rama cradled the bird and wept. Tears fell upon the old warrior's feathers. King of birds, may you fly to the worlds of light, where you may journey evermore. They built a great pyre and lay the bird upon it with reverence. Lakshmana gathered flowers. Rama whispered mantras to Agni, and they lit the fire. Flames rose and curled into the darkening sky, carrying the hero's soul to the heavens. When the final ember died, Rama stood beside the river and spoke. "My Sita is gone. My friend lies dead, and my heart is less than ash. But I must find her, even if I die 1,000 deaths. Come, brother," he said softly. "Our path begins." The heroes left the forest, sleeping behind them the strange dreams of trees, casting eerie shadows. Ahead, the southern wind lamented, carrying the scent of salt and despair. The brothers followed broken trails, crushed leaves, the subtle signs left by forest creatures who had seen Ravana's chariot blaze across the sky. Each mark on the earth was a note in the dark poem of Sita's absence. By the banks of a great rushing river, Rama stopped. He knelt beside a stone and touched it gently. "This stone," he said, "still holds the song of Sita." As the moon sank over the water, he pressed his forehead to the earth. "Oh, Mother Earth," he whispered, "you know all secrets. Where have you hidden my love?" But the earth was silent. Lakshmana returned with food to comfort Rama, but he blazed into fury. "I am cursed, brother. I couldn't protect my wife, nor save my father. Brother, said Lakshmana, the gods are testing you. Remember who you are, the protector of Dharma's flame. Rama's breath slowed. We must find Sita. He rose and began to walk. Beneath the restless clouds, a memory found him. Laughter under a great banyan tree, and Sita's hands weaving through the air in a joyful dance. Rama's eyes stung as the vision faded. He kept walking, each step a vow. Rama's silhouette stood against the dawn, lean and strong. His body was ready, but his heart felt dead. The sun gave him no warmth as they camped for a while, too exhausted to walk any further. In those hours between dark and dawn, Rama whispered desperately, "Oh, Sita, wherever you are, may my blood protect you always." His words rose and fell like waves breaking on a distant shore as his nails tore into his palms and trickles of blood fell to the earth. When morning came, Rama and Lakshmana crossed new valleys and rivers, searching for any sign. The land itself leaned southward, subtly guiding them. Thorns and vines tore at their feet. Often they were forced to turn aside, moving to avoid some obstacle, only to meet another in its place. Their progress felt barren, though the lands around them were overflowing with life. One evening they climbed a hill where the ruins of an ancient fortress looked out over the distant ocean. Rama gazed towards the horizon. That is where she waits, beyond the edge of the earth. Lakshmana bowed his head. Then, beyond the edge of the world we will go, brother. Back in Lanka, in the garden of Ashoka trees, all was in bloom, and at the center sat Sita. Her hair was tangled with wind and sadness. Her ornaments were gone, yet her beauty was like moonlight, needing no ornament. She sang Rama's name to the flowers, and they turned their faces to listen, but said nothing. Ravana came often, sometimes to speak, sometimes only to look. He spoke in a voice smooth as oil, of palaces that would bear her name, of jewels to bind her to his throne. When her eyes remained still, he promised her nights of music, dancers swaying like captive stars. But Sita answered always, "My heart is bound to Rama. Your touch is the shadow that devours light." Her calm defiance enraged him. For the first time in his life, he felt powerless. Something in her presence stopped his hand, some sacred, unyielding force that made him feel he must conquer her heart rather than claim her body. But as the days turned to weeks, his awe of Sita began to melt away. One night, her quiet refusal pierced him deeper than any dagger. He crossed the grove in 3 great strides and struck her hard across the face, a blow meant to break her jaw. His voice, once soft, now grated like iron drawn across stone. I will give you 12 turnings of the moon if your heart remains unchanged. I'll hang you by your feet, peel the skin from your body, and wear it as my cloak. Then I'll tear your heart out and eat it raw. Do you understand, woman? You are mine. One way or the other. You are mine. His wounded power had come flooding back, and he laughed a mad, trembling sound, drunk on his own fury. Then he bent low to take a kiss, but from the shadows came a strange, rasping cackle that froze even the Demon King. Startled, he stumbled backward, his poise shattered. The kiss was never taken. The wheel turns. The hero is led. Does he choose his path, or is it already written? The answer is this: the path is set. But at every moment, the hero chooses whether to walk it with his head held high, or to yield, to stop believing that good can come, even when all hope seems lost. And that makes all the difference. On the cold earth, Rama stumbled forward, forcing each step. They reached a great mountain crowned with flame-colored trees, where a host of monkeys moved in seeming chaos. To the unseeing eye, it was a wild horde, but Rama's divine sight revealed a disciplined army, each creature bounding with purpose, carrying out its duty. A large monkey approached and beckoned them. The brothers followed, and soon came to a vast tree, its bark tinted like fire, and there, seated in deep meditation, was a mighty monkey whose stillness radiated immense power. He opened his eyes and rose and bowed low and said with a delighted grin, "Welcome, travelers. My name, in case you're wondering, is Hanuman, and I say to you, all creation is a dream waiting for the story to continue. Now, would you like a cup of chai?" End of part 7.